Okay, you're all welcome to the third and last part of this topic called in environmental management. Quickly, we're going to look at the aspect of factors that affect the decision to extract rocks and minerals. Now, these factors include the cost of exploration and extraction. So, how expensive it is to extract rocks and minerals. To extract rocks and minerals, you need a whole lot. You need good accessibility. You need workers. You need good road to transport the minerals to where it will be processed. So all these cost money. So you have to look at the method also you need to produce that or to extract the mineral. So if you find out that once you extract the mineral and you won't make profit from it, then there is no need for you to carry out the process of extraction. So you find out that probable cost of extracting 1 ton is calculated. Then the mining method is important because open pit, which is surface mining, is cheaper than shaft mining, which is subsurface mining. So you look at which one you want to do. If there is no profit, then there is no need. And you have to also consider how you'll be able to fix the environment once you are done extracting the minerals. So all these things are part of the things you consider. So it's part of the things you consider in your course. Now the next thing we'll look at is geology. Then you look at the type of ores present. Is it a high grade ore or a low grade ore? Now, high grade ore yield more of the required chemical elements than a low grade ore. So if it's a high grade ore, then you know there is high possibility of you making more profit. So small deposit of high grade ore are worth mining because you make more profit than even large deposit of low grade ores. So small deposit of low grade ores cannot be mined at a profit left as reserved. So you have to look at the type of ore, the quantity that is found there. Now, accessibility. Transporting the ores from the mine to processing plant can be difficult and expensive. So the cost of building roads, rails, links to the processing plant or to the nearest port for export has to be considered. Carrying out some processing at the mine reduces transport costs. So you have to look at how accessible it is. If it is not, you find out that extracting the mineral you still not make profit from it, then there is no need. Environmental impact assessment. For a license application to be approved for you to carry out the process of mining, the company must have a plan to keep the lost habitat minimal, because you have to clear the habitat first, use explosive in the case of subsurface mining. So all those stuff destroy the local environment. So they have to come up with ways in which they'll be able to restore the environment after they are done with their mining processes. Now, the choice of site for mine waste should also be considered. You won't just begin to deposit mine waste in a residential area, which will now have high impact on people's health and also pollute major water bodies. Supply and demand. Increase in world demand for any mineral ore will elevate the price. So if there's high demand, you find out that the price for that particular mineral will increase. And once the price of the mineral increases, then the need to explore will increase, because you know at that point you make more profit when you extract that particular type of mineral. Now, the profit for a working mine depend on the changes in terms of supply and demand. If the demand is too high, mines that were not profitable before become worth mining. But if you look at that and you find out that the supply for that particular minerals is high and the price is low, then what's the essence? There is no need to even explore at that time, even if the demand is high. But if there is a lot of it and it is how will I put it, everybody is into that same product, the supply is everywhere, so you have to consider this before you decide to extract rock and minerals. So if the supply is excess despite there is demand, you might find out that exploring the minerals and trying to get into the market might be a little bit difficult at times. So you need to consider that, because people tend to try and look for alternative at this point. Now, what are the impact of rocks and mineral extraction? Rocks and mineral extraction have a lot of impact on the environment. and it has a lot of impact, economic impact also. So what are the positive impact of rocks and mineral extraction? You need to know it has a whole lot of positive impact. Now, to the farmer, sorry, to the miner, and to the economy. Now, it helps in employment opportunities will increase. And if there is more employment opportunities, obviously you expect the worker to have more money and as a result improve his standard of living. So you should learn how to use multiplier factors. Now, if you remember, employment opportunities is available, then the miners will make more money. As a result, they will be able to take good care of their family. Um, they'll be able to, how will I put it, improve their standard of living. So improvement in local/national economy, because these minerals is a means for foreign exchange, is a means for the country itself to derive money from. So as a result, it helps to improve the local and national economy at large. This money derived can now be used in development of social amenities and infrastructure to make life more easy for its citizens. But however, it has a lot of negative impact of these rocks and mineral extraction. One, it leads to visual pollution or loss of scenic beauty of an area, because if you use explosive on a particular area, I find out that the beauty of that area is lost. And visual pollution, in the sense that the dust from this mining waste move into the atmosphere, it will be difficult for you to see well. Now, loss of vegetation, obviously you clear the vegetation. So when you clear the vegetation for mining process to take place, what will happen? Wildlife habitats will be destroyed, biodiversity of some plant and animal will be lost, farmland and crops production will decrease, and pasture for livestock will also decrease. This is an impact. So dust also or fumes lead to air pollution. So this can also lead to air pollution from dust, fumes from and the machines that are used in the mining process. And the operations of these machines normally create a lot of noise. So it leads to noise pollution, which scares wildlife. River and water pollution, where most of these industries and mining officials or industries dump their waste. It can lead to river and waste pollution, and it can also lead to increase in traffic close to the mine because of the concentration of miner workers and also processing plants, if possible, within that area. So waste heap on land can also lead to land pollution. So these are just the major impact of rocks and minerals extraction. In case you're asked in an exam, describe the impact of mineral extraction, and they did not specify whether it should be positive or negative. You can just cut across any of these terms here. Now, managing the impact of rocks and mineral extraction. Rocks and mineral extraction has destroyed the environment, but there are ways in which we can reclaim the environment, restore the landscape so it return the beauty and be used for meaningful purpose. Now, so what are those strategies involved in managing this impact? One, we have safe disposal of mining waste. Safe disposal of mining waste. So mining waste, we should dispose it safely to reduce things like land and air pollution. Now, it is also advisable that this waste should also be used again to extract all the form of valuable minerals inside. Land restoration, such as soil improvement. We can look at bioremediation also as a method, which is a process of removing pollutants from waste using living organisms. The process of reducing pollutant from waste by introducing certain living organisms that will break down the pollutants and to a non-harmful substance. We can also look at tree planting. Can plant trees to restore the habitat, making lakes and natural reserves. In the case of open cast mining or surface mining, you can actually convert that into a landfill site. You can convert it into a lake or a natural reserve. You can even convert it into a golf course. So you can even convert it into a stadium, build a housing estate. So in order to reclaim that land. Now, ways that the mine can be used after extraction has been finished. So mine can be used in several ways. After you are done with extraction, you can use the mine, especially open cast. You can use it for waste disposal. So landfill site, you can convert it to a lake. You can fill up the open cast for farming, for forestry. You can convert it to a sports stadium. You can convert it to a solar power farm. You can convert it to eco-friendly floral projects for restoring habitat. You can build houses on top of it for living accommodation. You can convert it into storage in underground mines. Underground mines can be used to store a storage system. Now, low-grade thermal energy from flooded deep mine workings. So you can also do that. Tourist attraction. So once you convert it to things like golf course, you convert it to a national park, it can bring people in as a tourist site to come relax and um, do one or two things. If you can even build hotels there. Now, sustainable use of rocks and minerals. What is sustainable resources and what is sustainable development? So you need to know, we need to use these resources sustainably so that the future generation will also have the resources for their own use, for their survival. So sustainable resources is one that is produced as rapidly as it is removed. That's sustainable resources. It is one that is produced as rapidly as it is removed from the environment so that it does not run out. It's one that is produced as rapidly as it is removed from the environment so that it does not run out. While sustainable development is development providing the need of an increasing human population without harming the environment. Sustainable development is development providing the needs of an increasing human population without harming the environment. So, what are the strategies now for the sustainable use of rocks and minerals? The sustainable use of rocks and minerals encourage certain strategies. There's a lot of strategies that are being used. Now, first, increased efficiency of extraction of rocks and minerals. That helps it to be sustainable. How? Mine waste must be processed for the second time. I've said this earlier. So once it's processed for the second time, what opportunity does it give? Processed for the second time. Now, these allow the valuable minerals to be recovered and reduce the risk of pollution due to mine waste. Now, increased efficiency of the use of rocks and minerals. So you can use, when you use the rocks to produce certain minerals to produce certain materials that is of economic value, you should increase the efficiency of how you use them in order for it not to finish quick. Now, the need to recycle rocks and minerals. So you can recycle iron bars, you can recycle most materials that are dumped, glass. You can recycle all these materials back for something that is useful. Now, you create legislation, that is, the government pass laws that require manufacturers to become responsible for recycling and reuse. So these are the methods in which we can use to strategies for the sustainable use of rocks and minerals. So this brings us to the end of this topic. So subsequently, once I'll also do a video on past question on this same topic, so you'll now be able to get some of the skills that is needed for you to answer a paper 2 question on this topic, that's management in context, and also some paper 1 questions. So I'll treat 2 questions. One is the paper 1, and 2 management in context relating to this topic. So subscribe so that when I upload those videos of that next topic, you'll be able to get the notification and get the A stars.